being in this stage for the matches today, I just found it really funny that people were still all chatting because it's like you're actually so close to your opponent that it's like, you know, like if you were just like in the room looking at them, it's like from me to that camera, and then it's just like, you know, like, yeah, you're so bad.
Welcome to the latest episode of Pros. I'm joined by Yeon, Licorice, and Busio. Thank you guys so much for joining me. First of all, just how do you know each other outside of playing? Because I feel like this is the least like interconnections we've had.
Yeah.
On an episode.
I never talked to them.
Well, me and Yeon riz together, so we're tight like that.
Yeah.
But,
that's true.
Yeah, Licorice never really interacted
Licorice,
with,
where's
but,
your riz level?
What?
Did you see the video they did? It was interesting.
Oh, I watched part of it, and then like
we couldn't.
And then
couldn't keep watching.
Scrim started, and you know, they never finished.
So let's be straight here. One person rizzed. One person was anti-rizzing.
I mean, we have two Rizzlers at the table and one not yet.
Yeah. Where would you rate your level?
I mean, I've got a girlfriend, so
Oh
I
yeah,
think
there
that
you
gives
go.
me some
So
points.
you're all set.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you'll be in the next video?
There will be no video. There's no next
Sounds
time.
good to me.
Oh, it was a fun time to watch. I am gonna start with something related to Riz, I guess.
Huh?
The importance
Nice.
of kind of vibes on a team, just because I know everyone was looking at the Dig interview from yesterday and just being like, the team vibes seem very good. So I'll start with you, Licorice. Like, how would you describe the atmosphere of your team?
I just feel like we're on the same page of how much we're suffering and how hard scrims are. It's just like, I really think like the vibes could have gone either way, because it was like scrims were hard, and part of that is because we're a new team and like people have been playing together a lot longer than us. So it's like as soon as we had to make any sort of team play, like things kind of just got a little dicey. But then like we were getting towards the stage match, and it's like, oh god, like what's gonna happen when we go on stage? You know, like we have a lot of veterans, and like a lot of us have performed on stage, so we're like, oh, I don't know. And then we did well, so then we're like, oh, it's chill.
It doesn't matter. The scrims don't matter.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, scrims do matter, but like, and we're working really hard to like make them better every day. But I just think like we've developed a really like jokey, lighthearted atmosphere by just suffering a lot together. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Against both of these guys.
well, I mean, looking at your players, at least I know Sven and Jensen are very funny and
Yep.
just like completely troll.
Yep.
I don't really, probably speak as well.
Ming's pretty
I don't
troll.
really know your personality and Niall, so
Yeah.
just having those three cores, like, I don't know. Could I take it seriously? Probably not.
Yeah. I feel like Isles has slowly turned into more of a like a shit poster or something, shall we say? Like he's starting to assimilate with the group, which I think is great. Great for the vibes.
I was gonna say that's good because he seems really intense to me. Like I've only had him in one piece of content, but he was like very intense on Are You Smarter Than? Like he really, really wanted to win.
He's competitive.
Yeah.
How would you describe the vibes on TL?
Day by day, some people are very angry. So, like, I would say a lot of our personality is more on the hard side. Umti is like on the very opposite, very happy side normally. But like I would say me, Spawn, APA, and Impact are probably on the opposite side of the spectrum. But besides that, we have a good time. It's like just try to get the most out of scrims and just like review.
Yeah, I was gonna say Spawn's been like super. It's funny because he has a reputation for going like really hard, you know, like being like super super serious. Then he's like, this is the most like one of the most jokey like fun teams he's had.
Yeah, so with that, I think it depends on what kind of environment he's in. Since ours is like way more on the right side spectrum of like the very serious, I think he's less on the anger side. He's just way more composed because if other people are angry, he doesn't have to. And it's like trying to solve problems more than that now.
How about the vibes on Fly? I hesitate to ask just because of all the off-season stuff.
The vibes are pretty jokey. We're more on the jokey side, and I think that's important because it's like easier to admit mistakes and like play more loose and like ask for help if everyone like feels like they can make mistakes together and everyone forgives each other. But of course, there's a balance. Like if you're not serious enough, then you don't really get anything out of scrims. So like, yeah, there should be a good balance, and every team will find it in in a different section on the spectrum, like Yeon was saying. But for us, it's a bit more lighthearted, but still serious at the same time.
You kind of already brought it up, but just how bad are Dig and Scrims? I have to know, just because this is like such a running theme.
Really bad.
They're not that bad.
We do worse against FlyQuest than TL.
They're not that bad.
I will say.
I was trying to say competitive, but it's competitive. It's competitive. It's competitive.
The games are competitive, but we don't win many.
Yeah, the games are competitive, but they don't win that much.
Yeah.
I'll say yeah.
We were concerned for you guys. We're like, are they okay? Because you guys are like reviewing super long, and you're typing like in the pregame lobby, Pisnatos is ready. And I'm like,
Yeah,
guys,
no,
come
it's
on,
fine.
you guys got this. But that was like at the start of the season. I think we scrimmed you maybe one time a bit after that, and it was like you guys got a lot better, and like on stage you guys are doing good. So
Yeah, I think we scrimmed. I want to say we scrimmed 3 times, and the first time was rough, and the second time was pretty good, and the third time was like this last week, and it was also really rough. So
really, last time was really rough. I thought you guys did better.
we got 0-6.
But it was like competitive.
No.
Ours was also 6-0, I think, but it was competitive.
Yeah.
It was competitive.
That's fine. That's fine.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
Do you consider yourself a villain, Busio?
No way.
No. Are FlyQuest the villains of the league? I only said this is what the community is saying, not me.
I mean, we have a lot of like negative press occasionally. More like inspired in Whippo because they're very, they just talk a lot and they have strong opinions and they're like not afraid to talk smack. So of course they're gonna naturally be the villains, yeah. But in terms of like me and Masu, I don't think we're villains at all. We might be the opposite. So we have a big contrast in our team for sure.
Would you classify yourself as henchmen then, or like?
Nah, I mean, I just watch.
You're just there,
Yeah.
vibing.
Yeah,
Okay.
vibing.
Do you consider them the villains, or is this just a complete community narrative?
I think. Yeah, I would say so. Like, and it's not like I think they're bad people, but like, yes, I do think that like, I don't know. Like, I think from like the games today, like when APA died to Insanity and then he like killed him back and he was like, oh, we're both bad. I feel like that's not the same kind of thing I hear from Inspired and Blippo. Like, there's not really that level of like, oh, I messed up and you messed up. It's just like generally, at least publicly, I don't know what it's like to play with them. Most of what I hear is like just the negative side of things of like, oh, they're so bad. So I think that kind of contributes, at least in my mind, to the perception. And like, I don't know, they do just talk a lot. So like, you know, like, I mean, if every team aired everything they said about every other team, like there would be lots of villains everywhere and not much else, I think.
I think every team would be a villain at that point.
Yeah.
I'm sure every
Yeah.
team just says, wow, they're so bad.
Yeah. So maybe they're just like, they're more free with it. So it's like, but like, so yes, like because they are more free with it, I would say that they are the villains.
Out of curiosity, just because I've talked with you a little bit about this, Yeon, on your episode, when I basically said, like, what do we as, like, casters and analysts kind of get wrong in terms of what happens, like, in-game on a team versus what is actually happening, right? So, like, the narrative of the broadcast and then, by extension, community. Like, how, if at all, do those narratives affect teams?
I don't really look at narratives that well. I don't really listen to the castings either. I
Good.
usually just watch the games, mute the sound, skip through.
Wait, are you saying the casters are bad?
No, I just have no like what's the word? Not intentions. I don't really care for casting that much. I just like watching the games straight through.
Yeah, of course. I don't listen to the casters either because I'm just like
Even
listening
else-
to music focused on
Yeah,
the
even
on the
LCK
VOD,
games. Even LCK games, I just like mute, watch the games.
Yeah, of course.
Same with you.
Depends. I think generally yes. I'll just like mute it and listen to music. I've always been someone who like wished there was like a version of the cast where it was just the game with game sound. Like it was just the game. There's just game sound. There's no casting. I would watch that for like everything over the casting. But like I don't know. I just use the replay files for that.
Yeah.
For me personally, if I was like a viewer, it's like completely different, right? Like pro players just know what's going on and like try to look at everything. So like it's kind of like a little bit of a distraction, I would say, for if you're trying to like actually look at the game. but viewers probably tend to not see as much. So casters are basically their eyes and
Yeah.
ears, I would say.
No,
There's a difference.
I would totally agree with that. I feel like it's like, I don't know, like a comparison is like I'm trying to read a book and someone's like reading it to me at the same time and they're like using different words. And it's just like I'd rather just like read the book because I feel like as a pro gamer I can just like I have my own understanding of the game and that's what I'm trying to work on by watching it. I'm not really like that interested in someone else's understanding.
Yeah. Also, like you're not watching it for entertainment live. You're watching it like in YouTube, and you're skipping through fast, like during parts that aren't important. You're not watching it just the entire 30 minutes straight up.
Makes sense. I was just curious. Are you the best team in the league?
Come on, Yeon.
Probably, but I would say that it's not like a big difference. I think a lot of teams are still competitive.
Is that where the hesitation is coming from, or?
Just saying that you're the best teams is kind of rubs me the wrong way. Just saying that you're the best, even though it's like just the season's just started.
Makes sense.
Fair.
Who do you guys think the best team in the LCS is right now?
Dignitas. No, just kidding. I think it's Team Liquid, and I would say it's because, like some of their wins, like some of your guys' wins, look really good. Like game 1 today was an example of like a much more clean game than I've seen in the LCS. So I think like, I don't know. Do I think you're like unstoppable, unbeatable? Like no, but do I think you look like the best right now? Yeah.
Yeah, same. TL is definitely the strongest team right now. But that doesn't mean they're going to be for the whole split, of course.
You never know. Maybe we imploded in Saudi Arabia Cup. What is it actually called? The World
Esports World
World
Cup.
Esports Cup.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't happen. It does bring up like something small that we were kind of talking about a little bit on cast, but since you guys have all been to international events and have kind of had to deal with coming back with dealing with either follow or like stuff you learned from that event, how do you carry that and keep that up within LCS?
Well, I mean,
Or if you don't want to, keep it up then.
yeah. I mean, for me recently, like I had some really rough games at MSI, but honestly, it's like really helpful learnings because like a high pressure situation, you're playing against better teams. Every team you scrim is like way better than your normal scrims in NA. So you just you honestly just get like really good quality practice, and yeah, you can just use that to like set goals for when you come back and it's the next split. Yeah.
Actually, we went through the same thing you did. T1 into lose to minor region to maybe next international is gonna be your guys' our RMS, I guess.
Yeah,
I did not enjoy that Worlds.
I see.
I don't know about your MSI, but phew.
I mean, results not good, but like I'm glad it happened. 'Cause,
Yeah,
for example, like right now, I appreciate the fact that I got to learn all this stuff there for sure.
Yeah, I enjoy getting on there. I enjoy getting absolutely railed every scrim at Worlds.
Bro, but that's like enlightening.
Yeah,
you know?
it was, like,
it was good for you.
It
It's
was
good for
good,
you.
but like it was like a little bit traumatizing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like, man, can we do nothing?
Yeah, it's tough mentally, but you're glad it happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty much.
there we go.
Do you agree with that? You've also had this experience, I assume.
International. I mean, it's been a mixed bag for me. I think sometimes it's like sometimes the team just falls apart is what it feels like, or it has in my experience. Like sometimes you go and just like things aren't working or people aren't handling the pressure well. You're fighting a lot. Sometimes players just don't handle traveling that well, which I feel like isn't something that people have ever talked about. But I think that like being like used to international travel is actually a really big advantage for like going to an international tournament. Like if you're used to like going to hotels and being on long plane flights and it's not like your first time, I think that actually helps a lot. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it's really good and you learn a lot, and sometimes you're like my teams in the past have just kind of imploded. And there's always things to learn from it though. Like I think like win or lose, do well or do bad, even when your team implodes, there's things you can take away of like what to do better next time. So always useful, always good to go. Sometimes really sucks while you're there.
Licorice, who's the worst traveler you've played with?
The worst
Yeah,
traveler.
call us some names. Who's bad at traveling?
I don't know. No one comes to mind, but I think like
There was Golden Guardian C9, right? What else?
Golden Guardian C9. Yeah, that's it.
Who are the players there?
C9 was me, Blabber, Svenskaren, Jensen, Sneaky Zazel. And then the next year was Niski, Blabber. But same bot lane, I think. And then GG was me, River, Gory, Huhi, Stixay. But I just think, like, I don't know, like being away from home and like being able to get those mental resets after scrims and like be able to like actually process what you've learned and come back the next day and not just like start running it down. Because I think there's like kind of a cycle that people can get into where it's like scrims go badly, so then they play solo queue and they're upset, so then solo queue goes badly, and it can kind of just like keep bleeding into itself. So just being able to like take a break and get away from it, I think, is a really important skill.
But can you really let like solo queue affect your scrims as a pro player? I feel like previously when I wasn't a pro player, like solo queues would weigh a lot on me, like the results. But now as a pro player, it's like you're just using solo queue for practice, right? But I definitely agree with you, like at internationals, because the environment's like you're in a hotel room with all the guys, like it's hard to get a reset.
Yeah.
But you think like solo queue is really part of that?
I just think like it might not be the best thing you could be doing with your time. Like maybe it's better to like go for a walk or go to the gym or
I
do something
completely
else.
agree.
But I think like a lot of players, they're like in a weird country and in a hotel room, and they're like, I'm just gonna play solo queue. And I know
I will agree with that. So
I've heard stories about you
during Worlds. So we were like getting f***ed in scrims at
Okay.
Worlds, and I was like trying to like blow off some steam or like just try to play a little bit better. So
Yeah.
like, I was just lose,
Yeah.
defeat, and I was just like,
Yeon, you got to take a break, bro. It's secret technology.
and I had to take a break then.
Yeah, good.
I was like, oh, nothing's going right. Even solo queue.
I see. Yeah, it spirals bad for sure.
I could definitely tell I was playing a lot worse in solo queue because of like probably the stress or like.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, I feel like there's also, I guess, coming from NA, right? I feel like there's also some form of pressure to play solo queue, or at least like I don't know. This is my very outside perception, but like even when I'm in Korea and I'm bad, I want to play the game because their solo queue is better. So I know I'm gonna get better practice. I don't know if pros feel that same kind of pressure though.
So for us, we played in the super server.
Yeah.
It was kind of dead. We didn't really get to play solo queue that much, I will say.
Yeah, you could only queue during like right after scrims when other pros are queuing up. But if you queue up at like not that time, honestly, it was just like in the evening you could only queue, and in the morning you couldn't get games at all.
I was very shocked. I was like, wait, the server's dead. What happened?
Yeah,
I heard it was very popular back in the day, but I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, definitely there is like an expectation you should play solo queue. You should always be playing solo queue. It doesn't mean you should play as much solo queue as you can all the time, because that might not be that beneficial. But again, there's like a balance. Like I know some people prefer like 1v1s or 2v2s. I heard Licorice, you're maybe one of those guys where you like practice more through 1v1s.
Yeah.
Or I could be coping. That's just like something
no,
I heard.
Especially like regular season, I've found like playing solo queue and scrims is the better way to go about it. But it's like as you get closer to playoffs and it's like there's one patch and there's like one meta, I find that 1v1s have a really high value at that point. So I do like to do 1v1 practice, especially like in playoffs.
Makes sense. Me and Yeon 2v2 last night.
Yeah.
Good practice?
Good practice.
For sure.
Yeah.
Who
I
won?
was-
I mean, we played like many matchups.
Oh.
I don't
No winning.
remember.
It's like we're just practicing. The
Yeah.
game ends at like 3 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
just to test-
someone's
everyone
dead.
flashes
Wait.
forward.
It's just to see who's actually stronger. It's like a damage test against actual players.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. What you practice in like 2v2s, at least in like bot lane in my experience, like rarely happens actually on stage, because both bot lanes are like playing to the absolute limit to really see like who wins the stat checks and like trying creative strats. So it's just good like info gathering in terms of like the limits of matchups. Yeah.
Because you're like in scrims, you're like, we could coin flip it, but it's not going to be good practice for the other
Yeah,
six
exactly.
people. So
Exactly.
we should do it another time where we actually know.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Another thing I guess you guys all have in common is when you ended up on your rosters, you kind of entered with really experienced veterans when you first started. So I'm going to start it with a really cheesy question, which is, what is the worst advice you received from a veteran player on your team?
The worst.
Or like, did they try to troll you? I hear just because I hear this a lot in like a rookie player coming onto the roster? Your veterans didn't try to troll you at all or anything?
Not really.
not really.
My veteran is pretty serious overall, I would say.
Yeah, usually they're trying to help you, not troll you.
Core and then later Impact.
All I would say about Core is probably he just tries to gaslight me sometimes, and it's so obvious. It's like, yo, did you hear? I heard that guy said he's better than you. Are you gonna take that? I'm like, if I check this YouTube video, and if Berserker doesn't say it, I know you're gaslighting me. Because I know Berserker doesn't say that kind of stuff.
Did he ever fool you into thinking it? Or no?
No,
Every
it's just
time
so
you're
obvious.
just like, no.
The first time? Not
The
even
first time, maybe the first time, but I don't know what it was. I'm like,
Okay.
did he really say that? And I looked through the video, I'm like, man. I think my veterans were very serious at advice, just like feedback.
That's good. Me and my veteran Blippo, 2 days ago in scrims, or was it yesterday? It was actually yesterday. We got our GM to order us donuts during second block, so I ate 5 donuts before one scrim game, and I had like maximum energy. It was pretty good. Me and Blippo definitely came together for that play.
Was that game 6 or was that?
I'm
sorry, if that wasn't game 6.
ghosting.
I'm really curious about like the games after
No,
that one.
okay. So I didn't eat 5 at once. So coming into game 4, I ate 3, but then game
Okay.
ended. Game 5's coming. I can't just like stop. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
need
no,
to
you're
keep
in-
eating
you're in
donuts,
too
or I'm
deep.
gonna
Yeah,
crash.
exactly,
so I had
exactly.
to pop one more donut before game 5, and then of course game 6, and it was great scrims, great practice.
Wow.
That sounds like so much sugar. What kind of donuts were these?
Krispy Kreme donuts, of course.
Oh my god.
But those are like small and
Wow.
one tappable. Those are like, 5 donuts.
Yeah, very
not
reasonable, very reasonable, right?
Really. Yeah, super
Yeah,
reasonable.
yeah,
Yeah.
How many donuts were ordered?
24.
Based.
Wait, so you ate almost a quarter of that?
Yeah, well, Inspire doesn't want to eat them for the calories, so he gave me his. So I mass donuts.
You got to help your teammate out.
Yeah. I did it for him. I didn't want to eat 5, but I did it for my jungler, I'm that guy.
Nice
I'm a
one.
homie.
Nice.
I'm just thinking of the sugar content.
It was good.
I'm sure it was tasty.
What was the crash like afterwards?
No, I was actually chilling. Like, surprisingly, I was fine. I mean, I was also eating, like, mass Greek yogurts in between. I was just, like, really hungry. So, like, I had a good mix of
Did you not
Crazy.
eat
macros.
breakfast?
Huh?
Did you not eat breakfast?
No, I did. And I had, like, a bunch of string cheese, too. Like, I was just eating during that scrim set, for sure.
So breakfast, string cheese, Greek yogurt, donuts.
Yeah, but, like, 3 string cheeses, maybe, like, 3 Greek yogurts, Like,
Wow.
because you need to balance out the donuts,
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
Did you eat dinner?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It was pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, based.
Yeah. You guys should try it out.
I feel like travel must not affect you at all. You're just vibing.
When I'm like jet lagged and super tired, I'm annoyed. But like in terms of that stuff, I'm a good traveler, I guess. Unlike your past teammates that you won't name drop.
I mean, it's not even like, to be clear, it wasn't even like anyone on my team. But I've just felt like
Yeah.
some players show up differently internationally than like domestically. I mean, like Dade being like a really famous example of that. And it's like, I mean, some people are just bad at traveling. Like I swear, like I think it can really have a big impact. And
Well,
it's
I
really
mean-
just headcanon.
There's a reason why, I think Chinese and Korean teams will bring, boxes and boxes of, ramen or, whatever they're used to eating to, get used to the food in a different country. I don't think that's, I don't think it's that weird to hear.
Yeah, I heard a funny story from my teammates. In one international event, I think it was in Iceland or something, some of the Eastern teams were bringing rice cookers and cooking in the hotel room, and the hotel lost power or something. I don't really know anything
knew that was coming.
specific about the story. I wasn't there obviously, but it's just a funny story I've heard. I'm like, nice. They're prepared. They're cooking.
Actually, I got a pretty similar story.
Yeah?
So Core, when we were in Korea, bought this miniature ramen little thing,
Yeah.
and he bought the little, it's like a little box where you put ramen in.
Okay.
So he just brought it to the hotel, and then at night after scrims, he would just make some ramen
That's good. That's good.
in a hotel. I was like, damn, that's smart. But I'm like, that's
Hardcore.
crazy.
Did
Yeah.
he give you some?
Yeah, Umti made me some. Is good.
Oh, the general.
The general, he's
the
good at
general.
making ramen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That reminds me of one of these episodes. I think he promised to make or no, who he promised to make him kimchi jjigae. We need to see if that pays off. What is, just bringing it back to veteran players, what's the best advice you've received from them? Or just generally, like, I know I've heard from T, he jokes around a lot about, he'll be like, I'm going in on this play. And then Impact will be like, no, no, no. And he'll be like, okay, I'm not going in on this play.
I don't know. I got a lot of advice in general, so it's like a lot of the things I learned was from core, so hard to say one specific thing. Just we look at every game, try to get the most out of it. I don't know.
Any life advice? What's core life advice like?
No life advices. Just here's what you have to do. Here's what you have to do better. Do that next time.
This checks out.
That's good.
Best advice. I don't know. I think it's always just when people are straight with me. Like, I think, I mean, the one that comes to mind is Reaper. So it's like not even a player, but like my first year on C9, I really inted my first playoffs, and he like pulled me aside and we like talked about it, and he was just like, hey, like, here's the deal. You got to play better or you're going to get kicked. And like, here's what I want you to work on. And I was like, cool. And that was like one of the best conversations I've had in my whole career. So I just think it's like when people are able to just be straight with you, then I think that's always the best. So yeah.
Yeah, and for me, similar to Yeon, like, for example, Inspired and Bupa have taught me so much, given so much advice, but it's not like one thing in specific I can think of. I mean, I guess one specific thing Bupa said was just like try to make plans that are very simple for your team to follow in high pressure situations, because like when the game's very hectic and whatnot, giving like simple comms, simple plan can really put your team on the same page, and that's like valuable.
Nice. Makes sense. One thing Best of Threes has brought us is kind of being able to prepare for only one opponent. Do you guys think that's affected like how your preparation has changed, or no?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can do more in-depth scouting, but yeah, and you should prepare for like multiple games in the series, like when drafts change after like people perform well or things aren't working. But yeah, Best of Threes are just great. I love them. I don't know about you guys, but they're so much fun.
I will say that you get a lot more leisure in how many, like, so you probably practice like one specific thing, or sorry, if you had to play two opponents, I would say you were trying to like get better at the game specifically, but now you can actually like practice specific comps for certain teams, I would say, more so. And TO3s, they're so much better, I agree. The only downside is each series matters a lot because there's only 7 games, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll definitely echo that. Like, every game is so important with the current system. It's like I felt a lot of pressure yesterday, like that I didn't want to go 0-2 because I felt like that's like a really hard start to the season. But in terms of just prepping for teams, I think it's really nice. It has like the playoffs feel, because like that's how the playoffs have always worked, and it's just like it's nice to have it be simpler, where like I'm not thinking about multiple teams, and like when one of my opponents is stronger and one of them's weaker, like trying to like maybe spend more time with the stronger opponent, or like try to secure the win against the weaker. Like there's just like more going on, and now it's just like, hey, you play one team, and like you're gonna like focus on that and prep drafts for them. So I like it.
So what are you guys focusing on for each other? You play each other next week. Did you know that, first of all?
I did.
I think so. Yeah, I knew that maybe.
Very convincing.
But what are we focusing on? I mean, I don't know. We haven't started scrims for the coming match yet, so I'll see tomorrow, I guess. But what about you, Licorice?
What are we focusing on?
Or just like, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's really like for us, it's just like we're just trying to make our scrims good, and then like we're gonna try to like just like prep for what kind of bans we're gonna be looking at, and then just like try to practice games like that, and just like get the specific champion practice of like these champs are gone, so it's probably this meta and this meta. Although FlyQuest is usually a bit of a wild card too, especially with Bippo pulling out random stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You prepare specifically for Bwipo?
I mean, I look at his solo queue, but that's about it.
That's the only hint you get in terms of like what weird pocket picks he might throw at you.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can't ban that guy out. Just ban the other one.
Yeah.
And then you guys take on 100 Thieves.
Yeah, 100 Thieves.
What are you looking out for them?
I didn't really watch a lot of the games, but just got to make sure they don't cheese us. pulling out the first timing of all the other random stuff they pull out. Oh yeah, gotta look out for that Scion.
Oh yeah.
I actually messaged Ayla yesterday because Impact was like, "Why do you pick Scion? That champion's even trash in top lane." So I asked him, and I was like, "We play next week. I can't tell you." I'm like, "Oh yeah, we play next week, don't we?"
So the
They're preparing.
Scion secret pick that he's preparing. Are they still frauds? I remember the last episode I had you on. It was you, Ayla, and Armeo, and it was right after I believe the 100 Thieves 17 scrim game loss streak.
I mean, I was honestly joking about the fraud thing, but how did they lose? I think they're 1-1 right now, right?
Yeah.
They beat Energy and then they lost to us.
I will say I think they're way better at BO1s than BO3s, most likely. Just the way they play. They're very like a dynamic, strong team. Or sorry, a very explosive team, I would say. So BO3s probably don't help them as much because a lot of teams like can prepare around it more. But I think they're still good. I think they fit well, fit together well.
I think 100 Thieves, like, because I watched their recent matches because they played Energy, so obviously I was watching the Energy games, and they just like fight a lot. It isn't always at the right time. They're just kind of like playing by vibes. Like they don't have it all figured out, but like they kind of commit to a plan. So it's like kind of nice to see. They're just like having a good time. So if like the enemy team is playing scared or isn't very confident, they can definitely win.
Did you get that sense that they're
From
just
playing
vibing? Yeah.
Oh yeah, you played them yesterday, right?
Gosh, I mean, like game 1 was really hard. I felt like their draft was really good. We weren't ready for it. But then we flipped Baron and we won. So sucks to be them. And
Nice.
then game 2. Yeah, I just think they're generally pretty proactive. They're always looking for a lot of plays. Like I would say River's not really like a full clear on cooldown kind of jungler. So there's definitely like a lot going on. And but just in terms of like how strong they are, I wouldn't rate them that highly. I would say they're like pretty firmly like mid in LCS.
I'm gonna end on: is there anything that what has surprised you this split thus far? What's been the biggest surprise in LCS?
How is Skarner being left open?
Did we leave it up?
Yeah, you left it open versus us, I think.
Yeah, you guys lost. It was Impact Zach.
I don't know if that was Carter. I'm gonna be honest with you. We lost at level 1, then we lost at level 4.
I don't know. Skarner looked pretty broken. Despite what happened in the game.
I think Udyr would have shit on us that game too. I'm gonna be honest. Or anything, Cassante, whatever he wanted to play. But Skarner might be OP. We'll see.
Might be. Yeah.
I can't leak anything.
Yeah.
We
what
could
do you
leave it
think,
open.
Mr. Top Laner.
I'm more down to play against Skarner, but
Wow.
the rest of my team hates it. So
Okay.
I'm like I'll play against it. Like I'm vibing, and then my team doesn't like it. So that's generally like
Yeah.
that's where we're at with Skarner.
They don't trust you.
Yeah, kind of.
No, it should be you can't trust them to not die to the Skarner.
Oh, yeah, actually, that's true. The way that Skarner works.
Yeah. I mean, it's also like with these new champs, when people like think they're OP, it's like when they die to them, they get more mad than like normal, I think. So then like it's just kind of like it's easier to just have it out of the game a lot of times.
True.
When there is a champ that seems that broken, I know it is being left up in LPL and LCK a little bit more.
Yeah.
In some situations, I think there have been some interesting and like good counter matchups. In other situations, I think it's been left up and it's been a bit troll. But when you have a champion that seems that broken, why do you think it doesn't get banned? Like in the situations we've seen, or like why did you not ban Skarner? I guess in your series.
What did we give it for giving Skarner? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
What did we pick?
But I think teams just try to find solutions to like a permaban because you don't want to be always stuck banning.
I mean, you will lose like a lot of cards if you just keep banning it over and over. So like
Yeah.
Especially if you have to ban like another top laner, and then you just need to ban 2 top laners, and then you have no bans on red side really. So teams try to find solutions, good counter picks, and like it's worth a shot. It's just
Yeah, or also things to trade it for. Like
Yeah.
NRG today traded it for Senna Karthus, which I
Yep.
thought was like a good try. And
Yeah.
like it didn't work out for them, I think, right? You guys won?
yeah, we won that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good try, I guess, but like I don't know. I don't think the trade makes sense, but Of course, everybody thinks the champ is a different level of power.
Yeah, everyone has their own read
Yeah.
on things, and it's like you have to trust your own read, and sometimes you're wrong, and sometimes you're right, and you know.
Yeah. Unrelated to our game, I would say that whenever a new champion comes out, I think players are very bad at the new champion or a rework champion. I think I would actually say like most of like what people are showing is like probably not even like 60% of what the champion can actually do from laning phase to the actual game. So I think there's that as well. At the start, you don't realize how strong it actually is because players are actually not good. Then in like a slower game where it doesn't get complete shit on, I would say maybe it's a little bit stronger, but
Yeah, but also like the other players in the game aren't good at playing against the new champ, and usually the person playing the champ prepared it very well because it's a new champ. You can't like mess that up.
Yeah.
So I think it's still an advantage for the person playing it.
yeah, sorry, unrelated to our game, okay? Unrelated to our game.
Oh, you traded for Ashtrist.
Ah, shit, we lost.
Draft
Just
gap.
to revisit that. How do you find the balance? Because obviously, like, if something's super broken, right, you want to, like, take it off the table. And I feel like the community is, like, overly harsh on, like, why did you leave this up, right? But then, like you said, you want to be able to find answers to that. Like, you want to be able to, like, practice it and also find answers because that's literally part of how a metagame evolves. So how do you find that balance?
I mean, I'm sure like I would say we and like Shopify also left it open in the first week, right? It was us and them. Did anyone else leave it open?
I don't remember.
Probably not. Anyways, I'm sure like Shopify scrimmed a lot against Skarner. It probably didn't look good. Maybe they were playing against the bad Skarners like I was talking about, where like it didn't do well. So maybe, or they had a good read on like what can beat it. You never know because the teams, even like all the bottom teams, are actually thinking about how to play the game and have their own ideas. So it's not like, why did you guys leave up Skarner? Obviously, they had an idea, guys.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
It could have been a bad idea, but they were thinking.
Yeah, trying things is good.
Yeah. They didn't just do like a 1-minute draft meeting. Like, yeah, I think we'll open Skarner this week. What do you got into it?
Imagine being that top laner, though.
I'd do it.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like my job and like the job of a pro player is like when an OP pick comes out, you have to learn it and then you have to learn how to play against it. And that's just like every time. You learn it and then you learn how to play against it as fast as possible. So like it would just be a challenge, but like it's not gonna happen that way. So
What was your most difficult time of doing that? Like, what is a champ that you had to learn that you absolutely did not want to?
it took me years to learn Rumble. I was a really bad Rumble at the start, and like it was like only like last year after the rework that I pulled it out again, and I was like actually like good at it all of a sudden. But like I really struggled with that champion for a long time, and like I don't know, like that was really frustrating because I like back when Huni was in the league, it's like he'd pick Rumble and I'd lose to it, then I'd pick Rumble and I'd lose to like whatever he played, and I was like, oh my god, this is just this is so terrible.
Yeah, he is the Rumble master. What about you? What have you had to learn? Because you swapped for mid too.
Yeah, I mean, I had to learn like every support, but something specific.
I know you picked out Nico.
Nico?
Was
I
that
mean, I
hard?
like playing Nico.
Nico?
It wasn't like a protest for me to like have to play it. I don't know. I like playing all champs, even if the champ isn't like that fun or like not my style. Anytime I have like a goal of like trying to perfect a new champ or just like get way better at it, it's just like a fun task, and it just like feels satisfying to see myself get better at a new pick. So I don't really have any like bad experiences with that.
What about you, Yeon?
Personally, I pride myself as being able to play everything. So, the only champion like I would probably remotely struggle on would have been Senna back in the day because like a lot more different. But I don't think I had that many problems. Maybe I would say like on stage Lucian, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah, it was just the difference between like scrims to stage, right? Because I feel like since then we've seen such like really strong Lucian games from you.
Well, I just learned Lucian the wrong way. I will say. It's because
How?
I ended the game at 10 minutes with Lucian, and then I never learned how to actually play him. So that was probably the issue.
Too good.
Too good at laning on Lucian, and I completely clueless on how to play mid-game Lucian.
That's fair.
How does the team come into that though? Because like obviously with Lucian and a lot of bot lane picks actually that you're going to kind of be rotating out that you want map pressure, especially if you're setting the mid to try to get like mid tier 1. What is that conversation like with your team, right? Because in my opinion, it's not just on you.
Like in game or?
Yeah, just like, because that's a lane assignment thing too.
I just say, guys, do whatever you want. I can do whatever I want mid lane. It's chill. I'll try not to die. If I dash in, it's my fault. Good luck.
Yeah. On that topic, I think like the Lucian example is great because like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like in scrims, everybody plays more loose, so like the fights are starting more randomly with like kind of just like everybody's fighting more often, but on stage people are way more tense. So like the Lucian, for example, actually has to like low-key engage and like taunt them and make space, but like in scrims the fight was probably already starting, so you didn't have to learn how to do that.
Yeah, exactly. In spring 2023, where I like was really good at Lucian, I would say my jungler or like someone started the fight immediately without me doing anything. So I actually had no like way to learn.
Yeah.
Like I was doing it wrong from the start.
Yeah, like I learned that with Ornn last week because like I was playing Ornn in scrims, and like I was just doing my thing, you know. But then on stage, like I need to be taking way more space in the slow like pre-fight poke. I need to like posture better, like, and I didn't learn that in scrims. So finally, playing the Ornn on stage now, I feel like I have better understanding about how to pull off that pick for sure.
Yeah. No, I will say on stage, it's like it's a lot less clear what is dangerous and what's safe. And like, I think people err on the side of playing really safe, but it's like because in scrims everyone just takes up more space, I think, and then like like there's also more inting and stuff. But then on stage people don't want to do that, so then there's like this usually like weird area on the map where like people aren't really sure whose it is a lot of the time, and then you just like someone walks there and then like maybe you engage on them or maybe you give it up, and that's just like goes from there.
Wrapping it up, do you know when the LCS starts this week?
Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday.
Yes. So give the people a reason to watch LCS this Thursday and Friday.
I'm gonna destroy this guy.
Wow.
So you can tune into that.
We're still in the closet, right?
No, we're on stage.
we're
Yeah,
back
we're on
there?
the main
We're back
stage.
there?
We're
Okay,
back on main stage.
That's why we're
That's
Thursday
why-
Friday.
Thursday, Friday.
Okay,
Main
let's go.
stage, let's go.
You have a good reason to watch. We're on stage.
Yeah, we got the fans. Being in this stage for the matches today, I just found it really funny that people were still all chatting because it's like you're actually so close to your opponent that it's like like if you were just like in the room looking at them, it's like from me to that camera, and then it's just like you're so
It's
bad.
But the weirdest thing for me is when you take off your headset and it's so quiet.
Yes. I was
like,
It's so
whoa.
strange.
Yeah.
Because you got the white noise,
Yeah,
and you're
with
like
crazy
pumped,
white
and you're
noise.
like you won the game.
Yeah,
You
you're
take
like,
that off, and it's
woo!
just dead silent.
Yeah.
It's like
You're like, oh,
That
let me
was
be
weird.
quiet now. My bad, guys.
Yeah, you're just looking at the enemy team like that you beat because all of us water. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't have been so loud.
Yeah. All right. We'll have fans. It's going to be Thursday, Friday. We'll be loud. We'll bring the energy. Again, thank you so much, guys. This is a fun time.
cool. Thank you.
Peace out.
Bye.
See ya.